Alright, so here we have SketchUp. This is the 3D model that was designed in SketchUp. This is going to be the frame for our robot, or the body for the robot. Here we're going to have a base where we can put the sonars and any other sensors we add later. And then over here we're going to have a compartment for the battery. I'm going to make a slant to this. This model's not quite finished. I might remove these holes and just drill it as well. But basically it's just going to have a slant going from here down to here, and the battery compartment should sit in there rather than on, right now I have it actually mounted right around in here. So we're going to fix that up and finish up this model, and then import it into another program that I'll use to slice this particular model into multiple pieces. Here's a small rendering of what it's going to look like when it's done. This is a small model before I made the holes and stuff, but you can see the battery compartment right about here, and there's a little place in here where I can drill some holes. I always like to print a small model of it just so I can see what the thing's going to look like before I slice it up and send it to the printer, especially with a part that's going to be as large as this one. It's actually the largest part I ever printed. So anyway, this is what it looks like in the 3D graphics program. Yeah, it could be a lot better, but it's going to be functional for what we need it for. It'll protect the wires, protect the battery. I'll probably build a top later on for the battery compartment and a real strong platform for the top, because at some point I want to be able to put a robotic arm up here, so I'll probably use that with like 100% infill, so it's a solid, very solid piece of plastic that mounts in here. I'll probably drill a hole somewhere here for the speaker. But anyway, that's what it looks like in the 3D software. And we'll take this and splice it up and take a look at it in the slicer here pretty soon. Okay, this is Flash Print. This is what I use to slice my 3D models. What you can see here are all the different pieces that I have to 3D print in order to have a body for the robot. So here's the front. Now don't worry about the spacing in between here, that's just how it gets cut when I use the software to splice it or to slice the pieces. But this part and this part will be fused together. I'll probably use some E6000 glue for that. Then over here, this piece and this piece will be glued together, and this piece to this piece and this piece to this piece. So we'll have all four of these back pieces here as one piece. The front will be one piece. I'll probably need to use my Dremel to cut in here to make room for a couple of cables that need to stick out a little bit. But other than that, it should fit pretty good. And pretty soon my son and I are going to go to the store and go get some primer and some paint, and we'll, after all these pieces get printed, which will take probably about 3 or 4 days, we'll get them all printed up and start gluing them together, and then drill any holes that we need, spray paint it, and should be good to go. So all the 3D printed parts are complete. They're all printed, as you can see here. Here's the front piece that the eyes are going to sit on. It's going to be right here. This is going to be glued together. Oops. This right here, I'm going to cut this piece. with a Dremel. And there's going to be another hole somewhere for the speaker, most likely on one of the sides. And then on the back piece, I've got these being glued together right now, but it's going to have an extension here, so the battery pack that you see here can sit on the back nicely at a slight arc. And basically what we're going to do is, when this piece is cut, I'll be able to remove this speaker that's right here. Remove that, then this will slide in like so, and then there's another piece. They will be glued together at the time I put this in. But you see the little hole there? There's a little notch in here where I can drill a hole and mount that in there, and that should support the arm or the eyes pretty good. And then this piece of the frame will mount, and of course the battery pack's going to be removed. The eyes will be on their platform, and then there'll be a piece hanging off of here for the battery pack. Alright, so what are we working on now? We've got the base that we're working on for the robot. Not the base really, it's more or less the body to it. This piece I just attached the glue, or affixed the glue and attached all the pieces together. So when the glue dries overnight here, then I'll be able to drill holes down here and up here and here and here. Then I'll be able to mount that to the frame. This piece I glued earlier today, and it's fairly solid. It has a cutout here for some of the wires that need to hang out for the Arduinos, the power and the USB connection, as well as the lines going out to the servos and the sonar. So I'm going to drill some holes here to mount it, hopefully tomorrow. And also we're going to do some sanding so these lines will be less pronounced, and we'll apply some primer and some paint. That way they won't be bright white when we put this on. It's actually going to be a golden color, golden metallic color, kind of like a C3PO color. That's what my son picked out when we went shopping for paint for it. So yeah, I put all these parts together using this E6000, which has done really well. It takes a little while to dry, but it seems to be extremely strong, almost just like the plastic pieces are fused, 3D printed, fused together. But I think it's going to work out pretty good. Another thing we're going to do is, I bought an extra set of these treads. We're going to put some rubber materials. It's a spray can of flexible sealer, I believe is what it's called. And we're going to spray that on there. And the reason being is, since it's just bare plastic, it has a hard time going over some obstacles, such as the walkway, going between one room to another. And I think a little bit of rubberized material would do wonders for being able to grip onto those type of surfaces, like hardwood floors going into carpet, and hardwood to hardwood, or hardwood to linoleum. So hopefully that'll take care of that. I'll spray 2 of these tracks and we'll put that on the robot as well. I think that's it for now. So hopefully in the next day or two we'll get the body all painted up and the holes drilled and mounted to the frame. Of course, it's going to be a day or two for me, but it's going to be one video for you. So you get to enjoy the whole thing in one shot. So anyway, this is it for now, and I'll let you see what it looks like soon.